Namaste. My name is Prachi Bari, that's my last name. I am from India and currently I'm a student studying at the Charles University. I came here about a year ago. It will be 2 years now. It was on January 8th, 2023 that I first landed at Prague. I had a 3-month wait till I could get a visa, and it was a very difficult process. In between, I thought I would not make it to Prague, but I'm glad I did. And ever since I'm here, and now I feel as if I don't want to go back. Basically, I came here to study. This is my second master's program that I will be finishing hopefully. My subject is society, communication and media. I'm basically a journalist back home, but post-COVID, a lot of things changed. So after being a journalist for 25 years, we suddenly find that there are no jobs for you. And you're suddenly just in one day you lose everything. You lose a job. With the job goes all your securities and everything is thrown out of the window and you are left with nothing. That day I went along to the local hospital to check what was happening, why there are so many people, and what was this case that they found, why was there so much hustle bustle at the airport. None of us knew that we are supposed to wear masks or something like that. We were just going every day. And then they tell us that this is COVID, it's very difficult to get out of it. And my contract was coming for renewal. Just one day before, they make the HR, the vice president or the head of HR call you saying that we are sorry, Prachi, but we have to let you go. I had no idea what to do because I used to get up very early, prepare my breakfast and leave. And that's the whole week I was like, what am I doing? What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? Because all I knew was how to be a reporter. And that made me realize that there are no new skills needed. I need to upgrade myself. The social media was happening. The new concepts blogging was old, of course, but vlogging as in video logging was there. People were coming out with TikTok videos and whatnot. And I felt as if I was lacking behind. I survived because I was also freelancing, but that meant I had to work double than everyone else to make that, because it was not just me alone. Now there were 10,000 journalists out of jobs across India and everyone was a freelancer. So we all had to fight for a story. There were several times when we had to write free with the assurance that once we get the money, we'll pay you. And that's what I did for almost 6 months. So that was interesting. But COVID taught me this, to be self-reliant. You never know what's going to be tomorrow. COVID also made us realize that how things can change. Your life can change in a minute or in a seconds. I'm a voluntary member of the National Network of Women in India. It's NWMI. It's a very huge network of women. And they're all journalists, basically, all women journalists from every age possible. And I was doing some work for them as a volunteer. And then we realized the number of people who lost their lives as journalists. And that also made us realize that we don't have any assurances, or we don't have any backups per se. And that's when I thought, let me see if I can study further. Then I thought of going abroad. I said, let's look at Europe, because when you look at stories from European sector, we don't see so much India covered. So I used to look up all the websites of various European media, and India would be a small column or maybe somewhere in the corner. And that's how I ended up in Prague, which I never knew that existed rather, or the Czech Republic was there. I was thinking, where should I go to study? So I looked at the UK, I looked at Germany. I speak German, so I thought it would be easier for me to study there. But sadly, I did not get through any of the universities did not accept me there. I have no reason, they've never given me any reasons why. And then while surfing through the internet, I came across Charles University. And as a caution, I wrote to them, telling them who I am, that I'm a working professional, I'm taking a break and I want to study a master's in mass communication. And they were very prompt, and it gave me a kind of a sense of hope that for people like us, there is hope, and there is universities like Charles Universities who are very warm in their letters to say that, yes, you're welcome. And then after writing my statement of purpose, when I got accepted, you have no idea how happy I felt. Like, okay, it was one hurdle that I've overcome. Their way of reporting is quite unique. They don't go so in depth the way it would be. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe they concentrate only on certain pieces which might need in-depth reporting. I would prefer if they would also look at Southeast Asia in a much larger way. With this concept in my mind, I came here because I wanted them to look at India in a different perspective. I just wish they would also give more details. I hope one day that I can work with a newspaper here so I can write about it. Stick to the facts. Sometimes facts are like turn into fiction, and that really causes a lot of rift. Also can bring in rumors and start something which is not necessary. So it's nice to first get the facts than just not rush in. I understand that now we are in the age of social media, we are in the age of everything fast. But fact checking is also important. Trust newspapers that you like to read. Go back, see if they have written something beyond, not just one story, but if they've been doing a follow-up, because that helps you understand what you should look for in a story and whether the story is really genuine. Look for the words, that the way they've been used. Look for the names. Sometimes people just randomly put names that doesn't make sense. We are all like good thinking, capable human beings. Sometimes we need to be discreet, and sometimes we need to think on our own instead of following someone blindly. That whether this is really true or not, just don't believe everything that comes your way. Frankly speaking, I know it's a dying art. Print is dying, let me be honest with you, because people don't want to spend money because it costs money to buy a newspaper. I still love a newspaper. I love the smell of a newspaper when you open one. And I feel that journalism will not die per se. It will still be there. People still need news. People need to know what's happening around you or in the government. Otherwise, who else will provide them with the real picture? I'm still studying journalism. I still believe in it. And I think it will still go a long way, except that the formats will change. People will come back to reading long reads. Now the long reads are back. People want to know a well-researched story or good investigative stories. We cannot say that journalism will go out of everybody's mind, because you finally still need news. People want to know. There's not a single person who's not curious about what's happening everywhere. I'm going to live long, I think, and I'll still be a journalist. My profession, I think I'm still in love with what I did, start writing and giving news to the public.